Do you ever wonder what it's like to actually build your own watch? Not just strap one on, but start with a box of tiny parts and somehow end up with something actually ticking on your wrist. Well, last weekend I was here in my glorified shed, of which I call my studio, hunched over a desk with a bunch of tools like tweezers, along with some coffee and some music, just poking at screws and dials. And by the end of it, I had a real luxury watch. We're talking sapphire crystal, screw down crown, 100 meters of water resistance, and a Swiss automatic movement. And yes, it actually works, and it's fully original. This wasn't a mod, this wasn't a gimmick, this was a kit from DIY Watch Club, where for the first time in my entire life, I got a watch delivered to me in physical pieces on purpose. So if the title and thumbnail make you wonder if this is a gimmick, or maybe if you've just wondered if you could ever build your own watch and get a good end result, stick around because by the end of this video you'll know exactly if it's worth it or not for you. Anyways, this all started when DIY Watch Club reached out to me a few weeks ago and basically said something along the lines of, "Hey Rudy, we're DIY Watch Club, would you like to build your own luxury watch?" And honestly, as a watch lover, a watch nerd, and a watch collector, how the hell could I say no? Look, I've been hands-on with everything, from Casios to Pateks to Seiko, Vacheron Constantin, Breguet, all of these amazing brands. But to actually get the chance to build my own damn watch, from scratch basically, and then wear it, well, even in comparison to all of these cool brands, that really got me excited. Now, I will say it is definitely an experience, but a much harder one than you'd assume. I can actually service the most basic of movements, but the biggest hurdle for me here was actually QC. And you'll see from the indices, the hands, and generally the whole dial, my QC was just straight up bad. Grease marks, a couple scratches, stuff like that. So look, don't underestimate it. They don't send you a Lego set, this is a challenge you have to overcome by yourself, although it is still very fun. Also, very quickly and completely unrelated, I know that I'll get comments about it, so ignore all the scratches on my hands. I have a 5-month-old kitten and she's a vicious animal. Anyways, after a weekend of patience and coffee and perseverance, here's the result. And in my opinion, I think it's quite handsome. The dial is clean and balanced. Nothing screams kit watch like a cheap mod project. It's got polished hands, subtle markers, and a K-shape with finishing that actually looks like a legit microbrand release rather than something you build yourself on a desk. But let's be honest though, no watch is perfect, and I wish it was a bit smaller and a bit slimmer. At 40mm, it's wearable for most wrists, and for the average man in the way they wear watches, it even works on mine, just on the edge of that casual comfort. But for a man like me with smaller wrists, personally 40mm, 41 at the absolute most, only really works on rubber or a bracelet, where it's meant to look bigger, meant to look a bit chunkier. But a watch like this, on leather, something a bit classier, it just doesn't wear right on a smaller wrist on leather. If it had a bracelet it came with, fair enough, but for me it's definitely just a bit on the big side. Although I am not going to take away points from that, because it's not thick by any means. In fact, it's almost as slim as the watch I'm wearing, and it has a sapphire display case back, it has an automatic movement with a rotor, so it's going to be thick. And I get that. I'm just picky and have small women-like wrists, so there you go. Also, they do obviously do other designs. I personally like more than this, even for their aviators. I prefer a few of their other designs. Especially, you know, a lot of people are going to absolutely love the GMT, Rolex, Seiko sort of style divers they have. But this is still a classic pilot style watch with a clean dial, and it is genuinely easy to enjoy. There's not really much that the average person could take away or say is bad when it comes to design. But here's what actually shocked me with the watch when I got it, when I opened it, when I handled it, and that is just the actual physical and objective quality of the timepiece. We're talking about, again, sapphire crystal, screw down crown, 100 meters of water resistance, a Swiss Sellita SW200-1 automatic movement. Basically the most reliable, well-known and most used Swiss automatic dial in a price range of 1,500 or under. And as you can see here, The brushing is tight, it's consistent, the polished chamfers catch light like a watch 3 times the price, and the case thickness is proportioned well. It doesn't feel clunky or like a DIY project. And here's the kicker. This whole watch, along with all of the tools I have sitting on the side there, with everything it comes with, $780. No, in fact, it's even $760. My apologies. But that's not just $760 for a Swiss movement, good finished, well-spec'd watch. That's along with a watchmaking kit, all pre-made for you, that is also worth about $280. Basically, you get a pre-made, decent quality, $280 watchmaking kit with a great value, great specs and great finish watch, which by itself would be about $480 when you factor in the kit. All of this, and you get to work on it and make it and build a personal relationship with the watch. I mean, come on, man. Also, before we keep going, I do apologise, but I have to do the whole asking you to like and subscribe shtick. I don't like doing it, but a man's got to eat and pay the bills. And it does literally cost you nothing but like 3 seconds of time. You have to click a few buttons. And hey, if you end up not liking me in the future for whatever reason, you can always just press unsubscribe. It's not that hard to do. And I won't cry much. So, would I wear it? Absolutely, if it was smaller. I'd throw it on a suede strap for weekends. You know, it'd go well with a jeans, a shirt, maybe a light jacket. Or if I could find a bracelet that suits it, or even a NATO strap, I could wear that as well. Although on this, it's just not replacing my daily wearers. It's not replacing my vintage pieces. It's definitely a talking point and it has real personal value. But on leather, it's just a tad big for me. But even though that's the case, the best part of this watch is that I got to build it. Every scratch, every quirk, even the fact that the date wheel is like very slightly misaligned, something like 1/10 of a millimeter, even that, it makes it my watch. Even moving away from the whole getting a good quality watch for a good price, just paying to get the tools and the experience of making it is a whole value factor in itself. And it makes it feel more special. It makes it stand out from walking to an AD, grabbing a watch, trying it on, going, yeah, I like that, and moving on with your life. It adds so much character, personality. You build a personal relationship with the watch. It's similar to, for example, my grandfather. I grew up working on his 1936 Citroen Traction Avant, 4-cylinder engine. I love servicing that baby, even though it's not the best quality or anything. Over here, you get to service it and make it and everything, and it's good quality. I mean, it's just an incredible value catch, because on top of all the value I've said, I'll repeat it, you get to actually have something that you've made. You can tell your friends, oh yeah, I made this watch. You can tell your family, oh yeah, I actually bought the stuff and made all of this myself. That just adds so much of a wow factor, so much personal value and sentimental value to the watch, on top of it, again, already being a good value watch. But at the end of the day, this is a video I am making for you. So I'd love to know, what do you think? Would you ever build your own watch? Would you buy one of these kits? Would you continue to work on watches if you did? Or is this just something you do once and keep as a memory piece? I mean, it's just a no-brainer for me. I will say, however, the instructions could definitely be clearer. They're kind of hard to navigate at first. If you have a little bit of horological experience or a watchmaker friend to ask if you mess up or anything, like for example, I basically messed up the whole keyless works on this, putting in the crown and stem on this watch, so I had to have my watchmaker friend run me a little bit through what was going on. Not Lincoln, another one, but you know, I had to have a little bit of third-party help there. But if you're hands-on, if you love watches, if you're a horological fan like me, it's a no-brainer. It's just a great go-to. So is it the ultimate DIY watchmaking experience, best in the world, top of the top? No. It's obviously not quite at that stage. The watch finishing is good for the money. I wouldn't say it's insane, it's just industry standard. The specs are actually pretty high up there compared to other micro brands, and the watch you're getting does look, feel, and It could just be a micro brand. It's not something you made yourself. But for the story, for the fun, for the final product, basically for everything you're getting here, it is absolutely worth trying if you like the look of it or if you like the sound or idea of it. It could definitely be your entry into watchmaking, and it's just something cool to flex about. Anyways, if you like this, check out my bel canto video. Oh, no, would it be there? No, there. Anyway, check out my bel canto video. I think it's one of my best. Or if you want a more conversational style video, check out the other one, which is basically where we go into why specs don't matter as much as people think. And with that, never forget, time keeps ticking, so use the time you have wisely.